Neil, we've talked about training here on the Trooper Talk Takeover of Morning Blend, and it does start there, but there's another huge aspect to policing.
Yes, the recruitment, okay, is really important. And so one of the best things about Nevada State Police is you need to know nothing except to have the drive. And if you have that, then you can start off with him, okay? And then he will take you all the way up to the academy, get you everything that you need to be prepared. Then they're going to go into the academy, and then Sergeant Whitmarsh is going to take over. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
So I'm Trooper Villanueva. I'm the sworn recruiter for Nevada State Police in Southern Command or Region 1. My job is essentially to bring people on to the department to not only better themselves, but better the public.
Right. And obviously, you know, recruitment's a huge part of any job, but so is training. And training doesn't just start and stop at the beginning of the job. Clearly, it's something that people go through all the time. But a significant part of joining the force is learning how to do things properly. And I understand from Neil that you're the man who signs off, who gives that person the green stamp to go out and be a trooper.
That is correct. I'm Sergeant Whitmarsh. I'm the training sergeant for Nevada High Patrol. Basically, they finish the academy, and then they come to me for their advanced training, the Trooper Academy. They learn how to become an actual trooper, crash investigation, DUI investigation, things like that. From there, they move on to field training. Field training is real-life application on the road with a field training officer. They learn how to do the job one-on-one with the FTO on the road. So they deal with the public, they deal with the dangers and all the crashes and DUIs, everything like that. From there, they have to progress through that program, a 4-phase program. I observe the progression throughout each phase of the program and make sure they're where they need to be at in the program. After they finish the program, I evaluate whether they're okay to do the job by themselves. They're fully sworn, ready to go by themselves trooper. And from there, I make the decision. If they need more time training, I'll give them more training and give them the tools they need to succeed. Well, the goal is to get them on the road by themselves, to go out there and work one-on-one with us.
And that's clearly the emphasis is tools, is giving people the right skills, and also going through, like you said, that they're almost out on the job doing it while they're training.
Correct. And then training doesn't stop there. Once you become a cop or a state trooper in general, you got to continue training throughout your career. You're always training. The environment changes, case law changes, things change. So you always got to stay up to date on your training and progress throughout your career.
Yeah. Clearly an important aspect of any job.
And it is. And so one of the things that he does is to make sure of that, right? To make sure that the person that's going out on the road is going to be the best of the best. And then what he does is that he ensures that before they get to that point, that they're getting the best of the best. That they're getting somebody who can do the background investigation, who can do the written qualifications, who can do the polygraph. You know, this isn't 1, 2, 3. It takes months in order to get up to the academy, right? Yep. And then once they get to the academy, you know, it's up to that person to do what they have to do, right?
Right, and we've talked about it before. The academy will absolutely know if this is something that you want to do and if you're serious about. We are looking for people that have that drive in them and the people that want to go out and make a difference. We're not looking for somebody to just come and sign paperwork and go about their day. We're looking for people that want to come out and make a difference.
It's clearly a profession and something that people must have a desire to do. Are there certain rewarding aspects of seeing someone go through everything from the first entry point to where you sign off? Are there aspects that you really love to see people go out in the field?
There really is. Like, he's a recruiter, he recruits them on, but actually they come to me as a pre-cadet before they start the academy.
Right.
So I see them before they even touch a gun or a duty belt. I see them prior on, and I watch them grow through the whole program and then finish off successfully and go out and hit the road and do great things for the public. Yep. It's rewarding.
And there must be some officers you've seen, some troopers that have sat on this set and graced Trooper Talk that you've like, I've seen you, I helped you go to where you are, and now you've just blossomed as an officer.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's even better to see them do better than I did. Yeah. To see that is just knowing I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and men, women, you know what I mean? They want them all.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we always talk, and when Trooper Wellman was here and corporal, and now she's a corporal in the academy, we always talk about the women of Nevada State Police. We talk about the dispatchers. We can embarrass him again, you know what I mean, with his whole family working for Nevada State Police, mom, his fiance, you know what I mean, all those things, but it's fantastic, and that's why we're honored to be able to sit here with them today.
Yeah, it's really remarkable, and we appreciate what you guys do. Is there any aspects for anyone watching at home you might be wanting to share with them about the job, about the lifestyle, or about potentially enrolling, or if they were thinking about it?
So it's not an easy process. I'll start with that. Before I start with that, I want to thank Neil for having us on for Trooper Talk and everything that he does for us. He gets us out there to the community and to the public, and it's amazing what he does for us.
Very true.
But for Nevada State Police to come join with us, it's not easy. However, it is attainable if you have that drive. If it's something that you want to do, please come and go to nevadastatepolice.com, submit your application there, and I essentially help you from the beginning all the way down to the end, to the academy.
And I'll piggyback on that. You gotta have the drive. To be a state trooper in Nevada, you gotta have the drive and the will to want to help your public and have the camaraderie with your partners.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I've appreciated being here with you guys, and Neil, thank you. Like it's been displayed before, you do an incredible job. You really do support these guys, and I know how grateful they are for sharing this time with you.
And I'm the same. I feel just as grateful just to be able to hang out with them. It means so much.
We're going to continue this loving right now.
All right,
but thank you for watching us here on the Trooper Talk Takeover of Morning Blend. And I guess we do the wave off now, right? Guys?
Elliott, right here.
All right. All right. Here we go.
See you later.
Told
Make
ya.
sure you wave.